All right, hello and welcome to chapter 252 of my streaming adventure. If that doesn't make sense to you, that's because I, Jeremy, or JPinterMTG, have been streaming on a different channel for 252 chapters now. So, I am a member of the Swish Gaming, and we thought it made more sense to, if we're going to have multiple members streaming, instead of me building an audience, have somebody else need to build an audience. Steven has built his audience. Why don't we have everybody all together on one channel, and then we can provide you different takes right from there. So if you are not familiar with my streaming adventure, I hope you will check out our YouTube. The YouTube is The Swish Gaming, and find some of my old streams on there. And I hope you're willing to hang out with me as we go forward. Now, I do have to make some adjustments. I'm actually turning down the volume because it looks like I'm a little loud. A lot of the settings are different than maybe what I'm used to on my own channel. So there will be a little bit of a learning curve as we go, but the things that you can come to expect from the J Pinter version is that I'm going to ramble. I'm going to get lost in thought and look around the room. And don't worry, I'll come back to the camera. I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink Dr. Pepper. That's a given. And hopefully we're gonna have a good time. So those are the main things I'm looking for: rambling, Dr. Pepper, good time. Now, there is something that I'm bringing over and is going to be part of the stream going forward, is something that's called TheWheel. What TheWheel is that I would take subscribers, would get put on literally a big wheel, and I'd spin it around, and when they came up, they got to give me a format, a single card strategy, an archetype or a combo they wanted to see, and then it was up to me to decide how to implement it, what I'm going to play, and so on and so forth. So for this one, the subscriber wanted me to play limited, and specifically they wanted to play cube. And this Wednesday, today, the cube has updated on Magic Online, and it is now a powered cube. So there's going to be different synergies in there. I guess we'll have to learn them as we go along. But the idea is pretty much that through their subscription, they got to kind of help drive the content of the stream. And if you go to the About section on Twitch, you can see the upcoming model. The idea is that for your Prime subs, your level 1 subs, you're going to get the emotes. If you link your Twitch and Discord together, we're going to have some special areas in the Discord that are going to be available to you. And also, we're going to start doing monthly drawings for the Twitch subs that'll be entered. Sorry, that's a US only thing based on where we're going to have to ship stuff to. But that's at the level 1. At level 2, you get all of that stuff, but then you also get added to the wheel. And then for the level 3 subs, you get everything as before, but it's adding on something called a stream takeover, where instead of, like I was saying, giving me like those broad strokes or things that you'd want to see, you get to say, this is the deck list, this is what you're playing, and if you want to come on, we'll join you video, we'll join your voice, you get to come play with me. And it's a way to kind of say, like I said, stream takeover is what it's called. So with that, let's jump into a draft. Usually the best part of drafting is literally the draft portion, but okay, we're already ready. Now, I don't necessarily know all the combinations that are going to be involved here. So normal cube type draftings, the thing that jumps out to me is power as such, and then also how do we have the mana base to support everything. So one of the first things that kind of jumps out to me here is Isochron Scepter. Just because you're going to be able to find a good removal spell or something like that and then just get so much mileage out of it, playing it over and over and over again. And I mean, it also lets me still be a little bit open here out of pack one. Obviously, we didn't hit any power. I don't want to necessarily commit to a red-white duel. The fetch land is probably more interesting otherwise. And I don't necessarily know all the synergies inherent, but I'm willing to say that's one of the synergies. Palace Jailer would also probably be an interesting pick, but I think we're going to take the Isochron Scepter. Okay, now that we have Isochron Scepter, what are the kind of things that we could put with it? Squandered resources. A couple more fetch lands here, including a duel. Portable Hole is a good removal spell. Ancient Grudge. Depending on, I guess, like I said, the synergies that are here. Now, Yawgmoth, depending on the surrounding cards, feels like it could be very dominating. So I don't necessarily know, do we have... Is this going to be creature-centric? And I guess the fact that there are... It's limited. You might potentially run into board stalls. Board stalls are the kind of thing Yawgmoth could take advantage of. Plus, we could potentially get a removal spell and have a removal spell on Scepter if we commit ourselves to black. All right. Okay. Memnite, Undead Butler. So now I'm going to maybe lean a little bit more towards the black cards due to having taken Yawgmoth now. And so when it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. When it dies, you may exile it and then return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So this could potentially set up other creatures. Magmatic Channeler cares more about instants and sorceries. Blade Splicer is an effect that might be interesting. I just don't necessarily know all the synergies we have available to us, but it is quite a powerful card. And having First Strike being able, it's something that gives me 2 bodies. Okay. Spirited Companion, again, if we focus on the value aspect of this, still more lands. Underworld Cookbook, being able to generate food tokens. Pest Infestation. I've never seen this card before. Destroy artifacts and or enchantments. Create twice. Well, I'm willing to say how something like a Braid on an Isochron Scepter is kind of interesting, and I think that might be more worthwhile than having the Spirited Companion. We'll see how that works out, but all right. Endurance, Restoration. What is this one? This is Naya Triome. Galvanic Blast. Galvanic Blast on the Isochron Scepter is leaning us in that direction. I do like the idea of Restoration Angel to go alongside Blade Splicer. That's probably where I'm leaning right now. That Galvanic Blast, and now unfortunately, think of instead if I had taken the Palace Jailer followed by the 1 white Skyclave Apparition, we could have had 4 really powerful mono white cards in a row. But surprise, I don't really know what I'm doing here. So now I could take Godless Shrine as a step towards the direction of having better mana. I could also read this card. Whenever Voldaren Bloodcaster or another non-token creature you control dies, create a blood token. Whenever you can trade a blood... See, this seems like the kind of thing that if I do get it in conjunction with Yawgmoth, it's going to be pretty ridiculous. So we'll see if that works. All right. Options here include Firebolt to put on the Isochron Scepter. If we kid with black-white, zombies. I don't necessarily have a zombie theme, but I have a way to create tokens, and that might be good enough. Murderous Redcrat, potential to get persist shenanigans. I don't know. I like, once again, if there are persist stuff, that's going to be powerful. Cabal Ritual. Is this not? This is an infinite combo, correct? Like, I believe it is, and I thought like that's the point of this, is that it's meant to be infinite combos. Okay, well we've gotten multiple of the cards back that were in the original pack. So Palace Jailer, or whenever non-token creatures die, deal damage, and you can draw a card. That seems synergistic with what the deck is doing compared to Palace Jailer. What is this? I don't want to do that. I think I take the Reaper. Okay, Skyclave. Okay, the cards I had talked about first picking have come around, so I don't feel so bad anymore. They all have Undead Butler as well. So Genesis Chamber would give me a lot of fodder for Yawgmoth, but I think I'm going to use the Butler to help set stuff up. Synthesizer. I don't know that that's necessarily good. I'm going to take the Cookbook. Wow, Galvanic Blast came back. Of these options, I guess I would take Prism for the mana fixing. Okay. Oh, lots of cards to read. Mox Pearl. Okay, interested. Black, white, green, Triome. Goblin Engineer, Esper Sentinel. Liliana's Standard Bearer. When it enters the battlefield, draw X, where X is the number of creatures that died this turn. Kitchen Finks would give me another persisting creature to do tricks with, but I'm pretty sure Mox Pearl is the pick here. And hope to get some of this stuff back. Alright. Luris has my attention. Lotus Petal. Now, I'm not necessarily playing Luris as a companion. This is Luris as... I kind of want that in my deck. That's one more card to potentially do shenanigans. Rebuy small creatures. Yeah. Dismember, good removal spell. Viscera Seer can help set things up. Skull Clamp, Oswald Fiddlebender. Well, okay. That's the other thing. This is the Triumph of the colors of our deck. However, sacrifice an artifact, search for... Okay, we don't necessarily have the artifacts to set up. I really like this Skull Clamp, but now I'm wondering if I do need to... I mean, I can't play all swamps and plains, right? So I think I do need to set up. So now we have a Badlands. We have a Canonist. We have a Cutthroat. I think I want to take Cutthroat because it supports my plan here. Kitesail Freebooter is not necessarily the thing that we're looking for. Ingenious Smith, also not. Need to let the wife know that I have not fed them. Okay. Lion's Eye Diamond, no. Vengefy, no. Hangerback Walker, maybe that's the pick, because it's something that can fill the curve, and if I do need to sacrifice it, can turn into multiple bodies to also potentially sacrifice. Alright. When another creature dies, create a treasure token, no. Hogak is Hogak. Grave Crawler. I think I do have... Well, you're not a zombie. You're a zombie. Okay, what is Bolster? Choose a creature with the least toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control. I'm going to take the Grave Crawler, I think. This is interesting, but I think I'm not thinking through all of the things that it could do. Okay, Witch's Oven to go with the cookbook. That feels a little too cute, but then again, maybe that's what I need to rely on. We could also take Dark Blast for removal, Bloodghast for something that would be sacrifice fodder. I don't think going to Young Pyroman... I guess Mother of Runes. Mother of Runes is good. I mean, I'm more white-black than anything else. I'm going to feel bad when the cat is in the next pack. Well, crap. So, do I have a bunch of ways to discard to be able to get... Not really, right? But I could foresee this being useful. The fact we have the cookbook, we just don't have the oven. All right, what has come around? The Finks came around. Engineers come around, but I don't necessarily think I need that. We could take Finks. Finks would be another thing. Or to support the zombies, do I want the Standard Bearer? I don't know. I think the Finks provides me more than the Standard Bearer does. Okay, Scrap Heap Scrounger. Spawning Pit. This lets me sacrifice at will. Am I in a place that the big problem I'm missing is sacrifices, or... No, I'll take the Scrounger for the potential to... Alright, here's a question. Scrubland or Viscera Seer? I think I want the fixing. We are on pack 2. I was thinking to a degree like I'm almost out of time, but not quite yet. We will put that one in the sideboard. Okay, Kite Sail Freebooter at least fits what we're trying to do. The fact that Anafenza came back, do I look at that? Because this is a pay for... I'm willing to think maybe the red just needs to move to the sideboard and stay there. And I say that probably right as we open something relevant. Wasn't there a plateau in the first pack? Can you get doubles in this? That feels wrong. This has a lot of words. Prevent combat damage that would be dealt to attacking artifact creatures you control. Okay. If you would create a clue, food, or treasure token. Clue, food, or treasure. I'm kind of doing that, but not completely. Savine's Reclamation feels like it would be powerful in this deck. I'm going to rely on Savine's coming back. Now, is that greedy? Yeah. I mean, it is. Sacred Foundry could help try... No. Sorry, I was thinking it was Arid Mesa. My bad. I was going to say Sacred Foundry could try to help set us up for stuff. Blood Chief's Thirst as a removal spell, or March of Otherworldly Light. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. That seems pretty good. Okay, Relentless Dead, Phyrexian Tower, Rally the Ancestors, Spellskite, Infernal Grasp. Destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. So that would be a pretty good removal spell. Return each creature with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile at the beginning of the next upkeep. So if you had a bunch of stuff to trigger, you could bring them all back. When this dies, you may pay back. If you do, return it to its hand. I'm not sure how easily I'll get black. Phyrexian Tower is interesting. So there's the removal spell and Infernal Grasp, because it's any creature. Okay. Disfigure, Carrion Feeder, Containment when you discard a card, you may exile that card. If you do, you may play that card this turn. Auriok Salvagers, we don't really have the right types of things to support it. Disfigure is another removal spell. Carrion Feeder would give me a 1/1, but it's a zombie that could pile up with Gravecrawler. I don't know that that's great. +1/+1 for each creature in your graveyard. Sack a creature, search a library. This seems powerful. Crucible. Phyrexian Revoker, Overgrown Tomb, Fiery Confluence, Engineered Explosives, Changeling Outcast. Target player reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature. That's a weird duress. Alright, it doesn't really feel like there's much for me here, unfortunately. Phyrexian Revoker could kind of be interesting as like a miscellaneous play. I see that more likely than some of the other cards here. Alright. Nested Shambler dies, create squirrels. No thank you. Tendrils, Savannah, Blood Crypt, or Finale of Devastation. I'm not playing those cards. I feel like I potentially am playing the Abrade and the Galvanic Blast. I'm not sure if I am, though. I think this helps me play those cards. Imperial Recruiter, Yorion, Ephemerate. Do I have stuff that blinks? Skyclave, Ranger, Luris. I mean, it's a protection spell. I don't have as many Restoration Angel, though. Pyrite Spellbomb could be a removal spell. What is this? When it dies, choose one. Target creature opponent controls gets -1, or make a treasure. I was going to say it's a generic removal spell, but it's not great. I'm going to take this. So Scrubland came... Yeah, I already have Scrubland. Interesting. Is Thalia good in our deck? I would argue no. Undead Argar. Whenever undead or zombie you control dies, draw a card and lose 1 life. It's probably the Scrubland. So now, okay, is it the Plateau, or is it, I can just fully support this red splash, or is something like, damn, destroy target creature with the potential to turn it into a Wrath if I'm behind and I need a Wrath? I think I take that over Plateau. So now there's Sacred Foundry. Sacred Foundry is like Sad Plateau, but that's more likely to see play than any of these other cards for me. Okay, Tower is back along with Rally the Ancestor. I don't think Rally is necessarily what I want to be doing here, especially because it only buys it back like temporarily. But maybe I want to stop somebody else from doing it. Or it could be Phyrexian Tower. I think this is a Carrion Feeder. Reveals there. I don't want that card. Okay. So the red cards that we have, I'm just going to move them up here real quick. And if we compare spells, if we break this out to, okay, creatures up here versus spells on the bottom half. Can I not do that still, where we used to be able to stack? Okay. All right. So I don't think Rally the Ancestors belongs. I like all of these. I guess these are all creatures. So then what if these are spells? Vision, Prism, sorry. Okay. 37, but we've already got 5 lands and a Mox in there, so it's really 32. I'm willing to say that the Isochron Scepter is too cute. I think that's pretty obvious, so that one can go. Along with the red cards being in the sideboard, but it's the red cards are in the sideboard with the ability for us to play them. Because we're not going to start them, I'm going to take the Blood Crypt and the Sacred Foundry and let them sit on the sideline as well. Hey, Steve. We've done our drafting so far. So now what we're trying to decide is how exactly to build here, if you know what I mean. So I have a couple synergies. I have Yawgmoth, I have Murderous Redcap and Kitchen Finks as persist creatures, and then I have Vizier of Remedies that negates the what do you call it? Negates the persist ability. So I could potentially gain a bunch of life with Kitchen Finks under Yawgmoth, and then do a bunch of damage to them, kind of setting things up. And I have Zulaport Cutthroat to be clever and drain them as I'm doing that. So maybe early on I did need to take the sacrifice a creature and scry. Looking at this now, I don't necessarily have great synergy with the cookbook. That it's like I can create food, and then the food can turn into bringing this back, but it's not like I'm going to have that all the time. And so maybe that's a reason to cut the cookbook. +1 counters, +1 counters. Could create a treasure. This thing bolsters. I'm still not 100% sold on what bolster is going to do here, because it has to go on the least toughness creature. So maybe if I set things up correctly, +1/+1 for each creature in your graveyard. Sacrifice another creature Search your library for a creature card with X or less and put it on the battlefield. So it has nothing to do with what I sacrifice. It's all about what you're going to go get. All right, so yeah, I do want to keep that one. Scrap Heap Scrounger is an early play. Ranger Captain searches 1-drops, and I do have 1-drops enough to play it. This Manufacturer, though, I feel like creating clues, food, or treasure, I really don't have that many sources of that with what I've already trimmed. Prophetic Prism, and actually this stuff's in the 2-drop slot. Prophetic Prism can probably go. So now what are we down to? We're at 27 plus the 3 lands and a Mox. Probably want to trim a couple more. That doesn't feel powerful enough. The ability to... I feel like this Anafenza isn't really going to do what I think it can do. I know, I thought that was pretty opportune that you're like, you know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't done Cube. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Cube comes back right when it's Steve's turn. So, all right, Valdarian Bloodcaster or another token dies. See, like, I don't know that this is good enough, but I feel like I'm going to try it. This thing comes in and mills me, and then if it dies, I can get any creature back. Revoker maybe is situational enough that we could wait. All right, and the most expensive card in our decks cost 4. So if we played 16 lands here, what? No, thank you to the mountain. Why would I want a forest? Oh, Fiend Artisan and the Kitchen Fink. Ah, that's clever. So what are we looking at? Double black here. Black, white, double black, white, white. There's more white than I think I was thinking. Seven, 5. What is it, 6? All right, so this gives me 40. Well, if nothing else, I believe I can change stuff in between games at least. So, all right, let's save the deck. And let's play. And take a moment out to say thanks to everybody watching. And that moment is over because we've started our match. But I guess I'll talk more in a minute and figure out where my camera is. Okay. We are on the draw. Opponent is keeping 7. We have no plays, and then start playing stuff, so... we'll see what happens. Thoughtseize. Noble Hierarch. So now... yikes. I was going to say, I kind of want to keep this Triome for stuff later. So I'm going to start Plains. Okay, we might already be dead. This is why you don't keep hands that don't do anything till turn 3. Are you just gonna play like the configuration thing? Uh-huh. I kind of want to see what they're gonna do. That okay? Obviously, we need to. Or is this more like, hey, who can combo faster? So I just kind of want to see what are they going to do with their mana, so that we see that they're 3 colors. Okay, I'll take this moment to go ahead and say thanks to everybody watching the stream. I want to say thank you to Mana Traders, who you can see all the way at the top of the page. They sponsor my streams normally, and you can use the code JPinterHK2. That'll give you 15% off your first couple months. That's normally how I'm able to play all the different decks that I do. Also want to tell you to, hey, check out. That was your big play? I got an answer to that. I can deal with the 21-21. Yoink. What I like is that the Yawgmoth does not work against their Vizier. Like they spend a little bit of time doing the tap on tap, and then we just removed it. But the bigger problem is that this Yawgmoth does not stop them while they have Vizier in play. Okay, apparently we're just playing the same deck. Let's just get that one off the table. And now they've lost their infinite combo potential. That gives me the possibility of setting up Yawgmoth. Not that it's going to do much. You have to sacrifice another creature to be able to do anything. So I need to hit a 1-drop pretty much. Yeah, we have a lot of the same cards. We've also drawn a lot of lands. No, it's cool. It's cool. Yikes. So if this thing dies, they get to get the Vizier back. I just kind of want to see more of what they are doing. Oh, really? Was that happening earlier? Or you're saying it just so happens it's working out that way for me? Okay, nice. All right, they do have. So they went green for some of their aspects, which we could have as well. And now they have the Butler to get back Vizier. Does it put it back in their hand? Yeah, so we're just going to die. And with that, I think we can scoop. Does this make me want more removal? I think so. So I'm going to bring in a Braid and Blast. By bringing in a Braid and Blast, I have more things to try to fight them. Hi, buddy. Looking at Luris as a way to rebuy some of these smaller things, I'm not sure that they're necessarily good. I'm going to take out Cauldron Familiar. Yes, I did. Thank you for noticing that. That would have been pretty awkward when we needed the red mana, and instead I have Overgrown Tomb. No, thank you for that. That could have been bad. I almost wonder if this. Okay, it has to be eye control. I was gonna say that could be very dangerous when they start looping, and then my guy is just dead. Could be Blade Splicer. This at least, the other one at least tutors me up something. Alright, we're going to play first. I was going to say, are we going to be able to play anything before like the 9th turn? So of course we drew both the red sideboard cards. Alright, so I can keep this. And right now I think we put back a Braid. They kept 7. So it's either I can turn 1 Butler. I could also turn 2 having Mother already set up. I'm going to start with Butler. Flip Fiend Artisan, Hangerback, Swamp. Okay, they are shocking to traverse the Uvenwald. Okay, attack. There you go, you got a Butler. They flipped Knight's Whisper, Diabolic Intent, nice, and a Fatal Push. So, what I'm thinking here is the longer this sits around, right? There's nothing right now for them to get back, and so I would rather they don't get anything back. That's my thought here, anyway. Tag the Butler. Maybe I should have the Overgrown Tomb for the Fiend Artisan. Maybe not. Well, look at that. Savine's Reclamation. It's back. And they still don't have anything in there. Sure would be nice if I could take that, Butler. Swing. And then I'm going to keep a Plains in my hand just to make him think I've got stuff. Oh, look at that. Maybe I should have kept the first hand, just knowing I was going to draw like 14. I guess we could swing the butler in, hoping the butler dies and gives us something else. That is true. The butler is almost effectively unblockable. Okay. I don't know if you can hear. The dogs are out in the hallway wrestling. Yeah. Oh, terrific. Let's see what they target. All right. I'm going to try to give myself protection from black. Okay. What did they shoot? Did they shoot me for one? No box. So maybe instead the butler needs to be home to save me from the 2-4-10. Terrific. One, two, three, four, five, six. You got him. What's under there? 2 cost. Okay, Stone Coil Serpent has been played. Okay. Use the mana to proliferate. They have Anafenza. They are definitely more combo heavy than we are. Or maybe they just have more synergy. Like, I could put this out there, but it doesn't really matter because all of our guys are going to die. I think this is a good time to go ahead and play a different match. And hope that we are not playing a mirror match in which our opponent has a better deck than us. Or I should say, opponent has the same deck as us, but with maybe slightly better cards. All right, the dogs seem a little less feisty. They are laying out now. And if I could, we'll put the deck back up here. I am going to say thank you for watching right now. If you're watching and you haven't followed the channel, please consider following the channel. If you're watching later on YouTube and you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. The more YouTube subscriptions we get, we're trying to build up towards every like and subscribe and all of that on YouTube gets us into the algorithm where more people can see our content. And when more people can see our content, it helps us put more of it out there. Oh, they are using Luris as a companion. Keep. So they're going to be aggressive, theoretically. Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate the follow. Thraben Inspector, that is the Steven Dykeman special. I was going to say, oh, look, we can drop Hangerback Walker on them, but that's just not impressive. But it's something. It's something that lets us kind of get the party started. And otherwise, we might end up playing off curve. I mean, I'm going to do that, though. I am going to get a hangerback walker out there for 1. The next turn playing, we get a ranger captain, and get a ranger captain search for one of our other 1-drops, and maybe we get ourselves towards the... What were our 1-drops to set up the red cap? I don't think we do have. Prosperous Innkeeper, create a treasure token. When another creature enters the battlefield, gain a life. Okay. So they are definitely the token generations over there, which makes sense to have these smaller cards while generating the value. All right, we did draw. So we could either deploy the captain. The captain would likely slow down what they have going on over there. Put out a Midnight Reaper, but we could wait and have the Reaper next turn. And cranking up the hangerback. The hangerback costs 1 to put on there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the Ranger Captain. We will search up. Yes. Mother of Runes, that's a decent one. Compared to some of this other stuff we have here, I like the idea of Mother of Runes protecting us. Also, Carrion Feeder could eat other cards. I'm going to go with Mother of Runes. So this should, 3/3 body should discourage them from attacking. And if not, they're potentially setting up, a couple different things. Jace Vryn's Prodigy. They're the Rainbow 2-drop deck, which makes sense if you're building your deck off of Lurrus, right? They gained a life from the Innkeeper. I was trying to figure out why their life total changed. Well, that would explain it. Okay. So, we do not have the requisite to set up red cap. We don't have it to set up red cap yet. We could deploy the Reaper. We could deploy Reaper and Mother of Runes. We could deploy Mother of Runes, have the ability to crank up Hangerback Walker. If I attack with this, I can get Reaper out there. I want to start getting these larger bodies and putting pressure on them, especially if they have the ability to gain life. And then I'm going to sit back and use Hangerback Walker to crank up. That's kind of my game plan here. Deals the damage to me, and I draw a card. Put the stack up here. Breeding Pool. So blue-black. Hidden Stockpile. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield, create a servo. So wouldn't that just endlessly make servos? I mean, it kind of sounds like it. And then they gain life. That's pretty gross. All right, so we have found Murderous Redcap. We could attack with everyone. Who's whining over there? What? What? Do you just want pets? Sorry, you're being super whiny. Okay. We can attack if they try to double block the Reaver. Really? We could also just kill this and then swing in. All right. I do not have dog treats down here, but I will make sure the dogs get their treats when I go back upstairs. I promise. The dog treats will come. See, I kind of want to take out Jace here, but maybe the plan is long term we get them. All right, I'm going to swing with everybody with the intent of getting Mother Runes out there. Because the fact that Hangerback swung means we're not worried about that. And I guess they only get it on their upkeep, so if they on their end step, so if they block when I swing in. Yep, she's dead. I'll take a damage and draw a card. That's a decent trade. So now they're going to flip. Nope, they want to they're going to flash back the Fatal Push. And really, what I should have done in response to that, because they're going to be able to kill any of them, I could have cashed in the Ranger Captain to try to stop it. And that maybe would have made more sense. All right, so we know they are still waiting on. So I could finish this off, and then they would have to buy Jace. We could also just exile a servo. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to swing everything at them. And if they don't block, okay. They understood what I was going for. Because that way we could pick off the Jace, but if they would have let me just swing straight at them and they didn't, well, then we take them out that way. So, having saw what we saw, that they are graveyard-based, a couple other things. What does Anafenza do again? When a non-token enters the battlefield on my side, bolster 1. Maybe I do want that. With as bad as our mana has been, we've seen that we draw some of it pretty frequently. I feel like Cauldron Familiar is just going to be like the odd card out, more likely. With all of the stuff they showed us, do I want a Braid? Like, they're going to have a variety of different creatures. A Braid and or Galvanic Blast for more removal. I still don't know necessarily, because this only takes non-creatures, right? So I feel like Kitesail Freebooter is maybe an easy cut. Let's go ahead and do the same thing where we cut a Plains in a Swamp and bring in the correct cards, the Sacred Foundry and Blood Crypt. And then, so we're at 41. Butler kind of does stuff. Bloodcaster, again, when Bloodcaster or another non-token dies, I get blood. And if I make a blood, if I already had 5, I would transform it. And the transform is a 3/3 flyer. At the beginning of combat, I turn bloods into bats. What is going on back there? I don't. This one doesn't block, right? I'm gonna do that. All right. They have kept 7. This is a turn 1 grave crawler. Turn 2. I mean, this isn't terrible. Will you shut up back there? Goodness. The dogs are especially feisty tonight. If you can't hear them, I mean, I would prefer that. But yeah. So we're gonna start swamp so that we can grave crawler. It's not like we need to slam down dam next turn, but we maybe save that one in reserve. Don't cash it in too early. I don't know what this thing is. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, investigate. Sacrifice a bunch of clues, and they steal stuff from me? That's terrible. I think it's worth just getting that off the field. I mean, I could be wrong, and I think last time, as soon as we used it, they played something more worthwhile. But so here is a case of this makes a golem. I need to have zombies. They got some pretty triomes. So if I swing in, they just block and then get a 1/1. No, thank you. Especially that Yawgmoth could use it as fodder. And if we maybe get them to commit more, March could mess with them. It would have been really awesome to draw a red there. I'm setting in the germ. Yeah, they obviously had something. Okay, collected company. Let's see if they can hit. I don't know what's happening. When Cruel Celebrant or another creature you control dies, opponent loses. Okay. Leaves the battlefield. Oh, Hideaway. When this enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards, exile 1 face down, And then if it leaves the battlefield, they get the card into their hand. Okay. I'll allow it. Oh, I forgot they're a Lurrus deck, too. I completely forgot they were a Lurrus deck. Mm-hmm. So, we could wait to deploy Yawgmoth when we can actually do something with it. We could also set up here so that March exiles their Lurrus, because I don't want to necessarily play into their Lurrus. We always have the ability to crank up the Walker. Okay, if we send in the 3/3, do they just block to get... They block with those two. They block with those three. They block with everybody. I mean, they could just, want triggers, and that's fine. So they get their card. They get their card, and then they get a couple drains. That's fine. I'm trying to bait out Lurrus. Okay. Lurrus has arrived. They get to replay out of their graveyard. That one makes most sense to come back. And a Viscera Seer. So I don't want them to necessarily get the value off of it. So let's go ahead and eat Lurrus right now. So this could get me the Eat 'em Up zombie. Or I would like to start by trying to eat this dude. If I eat this, I'll get another token. Alright, so they have chosen to sacrifice it in response. So I'm going to lose the ability because my target is gone, correct? Yeah. So they'll sack it to itself. I expect them to sack it to itself. Why would you not? So then I've just paid life to remove stuff from their side of the board, though, which is not bad. They're getting other value real quick, which makes sense. You have to sack it to itself. You can't let me get the... You can't let me get that satisfaction, I wouldn't think. Okay. So we missed on both of those. I'll send in the first striker while I can. Okay. That's every time that's one less creature out there. I mean, we haven't played a land yet, but I think that's okay. I would like to draw a red, though. Okay. Whenever another non-token enters the battlefield. Okay. Hello, Zyphon. So we're at 8 to their 17, because I guess the Yawgmoth abilities also make me pay life, but if I can get Luris going, we can try to gain some of this life back. I need to be mindful of not doing too much damage to myself. But we have exiled their Luris and yet still have Luris on our side. That was this game, right? Yeah, Collected Company was played in this game. I don't know what this is. When a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card. Okay. Are they about to go crazy on me? I mean, maybe. I mean, this really shuts down my Yawgmoth game plan. Definitely makes it a little less impressive. What does this do? Sacrifice X clues, reveal a top X, put a non-land permanent X or less. Okay. All right, we have found an undead butler. So they could choose to double block there. I think. Do we let them? Whenever another non-token enters the battlefield under your control. We swing with both. I mean, we are at a kind of low life total. They don't have enough power to double block and kill Yawgmoth, though. So that is nice. If we play Anafenza, eliminate. Kill my Anafenza. I could sacrifice it to get a +1/+1. That doesn't seem worth it. Alright, so I have a 5/5 blocker. If I draw a mana, Fiend Artisan could tutor up the 2/2. I guess right now it could tutor up Kitchen Finks. Maybe that's what I want is Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks to try to save us. Because we could use some life points here. I mean, in the meantime, we're kind of just languishing if this Vizier of Remedies gets anything going on us. They've tapped and untapped, which has the potential to be bad. A lot of thinking here. We're down to 10 minutes, too, because don't forget, like I had mentioned, I'm going to talk a lot, which is rambling, and as a result of that, we tend to use more time than I would if I'm not espousing all the things in my head. We are still drinking the Dr. Peppers. I could have Ranger Captain to... I'm sorry, what? Okay. I did not expect to see Territorial Kavu arrive. Territorial Kavu, however, is on defense. All right, I definitely should have clarified when I talked about what land we were going to draw. When it attacks, they can exile up to a card from a graveyard. So, sacrifice another creature, search for mana value X or less, put onto the battlefield. Let's take a quick look at the deck we're playing. Couldn't do that. What about... Can I see my deck anywhere? Can I view my deck list? Apparently not. Cool. Oh, I have the... What do you call it? The 3 mana exile their dude thing. So, yeah, this thing, Skyclave Apparition. So we get Skyclave Apparition. We take out their Vizier. And that's one less they can use to stop us. But we've already played our land now, so now we gotta pass. Can this be used whenever? Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. It's a good thing I read activate only as a sorcery before I tried to get clever. Getting clever can be dangerous. That's definitely true. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a lot of clues. All right, and then, well, they don't have haste, but this, yeah, I was gonna say, are they gonna steal a card from me? They get to look at my top X cards. Look at my top X cards. You may put a non-land permanent with cost X or less. There's no way we stay alive here. They have this. They can sacrifice, and each one drains us. I will not give them the satisfaction. I'll tell you what. I will not give you the satisfaction of seeing my deck, because we are super duper dead. Huh. Okay. If we would have ever drawn red there, that feels like that could have been... Okay, clarification. If we would have drawn red in time... I'm going to put this thing back in. Just because of the zombie usefulness. So far, I've liked kind of everything. I don't know that Luris necessarily fits, and that feels weird. The fact that we're playing it, although I do like the life gain aspect of it. I think I'm going to cut this Bloodcaster. I've never necessarily wanted to get it. You know what I mean? So 7 minutes left. We are down on the clock. I gotta play faster. Keep. Swamp Go. The plan here, I think, is Butler into Remedy. Well, I guess we'll see how we draw. But the Remedy, I guess I kind of want to protect. Or do I go for the 2-power creature, get the 2-power creature going? I could see this as more beneficial. Okay. We'll accelerate. Attack you. We got the aggro draw here, I guess. The murderous redcap resto angel. See, I absolutely should have Viscerous here. Mm-hmm. Territorial Kavu. All right, so I got a game plan here. I want to see if we can get him to swing, and as long as the Territorial Kavu doesn't go to a 5/5, we blink with the Restoration Angel. Murderous Red Cap comes back and shoots the Kavu. We block. It dies. It comes back and it shoots the Kavu. Boo! They can go get red now. We had... Okay. That's bold. Alright, so... So... Here's my plan. Yeah, we heard you, Lily. So we're gonna blink this. When it comes in, I'm gonna shoot the Celebrate in the head. I'm gonna declare blocks. He dies. He persists. He doesn't get the counter. I'm gonna shoot your dude. That seems like it went well for me. Well, because the Angel is only 3/4, and their card is 4/4. So I didn't want to lose my... I didn't want to lose the Restoration Angel because it's 3/4. Does that make sense? Well, Kitchen Finks in the graveyard. What 1/2 attacked? Did this guy attack? If this thing attacked, I just flat out missed that. Okay, yeah, flat out. I did not notice that part. That's on me. That was just not... I just didn't see that happen. I think Luris was put into hand. The plan is to not let them get that far. They have a white. Okay, yeah, I missed that the innkeeper attacked. Otherwise, we could have swept everything over there. That would have been much better. We have been ousted. Deal. Thank you, thank you. All right, we'll send those two in. No blocks, as expected. We could have sent the Vizier. All they would have done was trade there, but I feel like we have a better chance at finding some synergy. All right, Luris is here. They gain a life. And then they get to replay something. Potentially the Kavu. Kavu now, because of the Triome, is back as a 5/5. And they have gained a couple life. All right, so... I just red cap to shoot down the Luris, right? And then, yeah, we heard you. Lily, we heard you. No swings, and I just wait to try to get in with Restoration Angel in the air. Hi. You're a very loud dog. That's really great. Did Mama leave? Is that why you're so... You're barking. Why are you barking? Okay, here comes Kavu. Okay. Block. It doesn't have trample, I don't believe. Okay, do they have tricks on the stack? Tricks on the stack, shoot my Vizier of Remedies. Okay. So it will come back, but it will come back smaller. Fatal Push. They spent a lot of cards there. They have their own Vizier of Remedies. Okay. Skyclave Apparition. We get it, Lily. Okay, they're willing to trade off there. They take one. And I will eat your Kavu. All right, they have one card in hand. I hope it's not the bring everybody back to life card, because that's rough. And right now, with everything that's... I mean, I feel like if they have it, I just have to walk into it, because I don't have much time left. I mean, I almost don't have enough time with all of these triggers. You know what I mean? I'm going to get timed out. Now they're up to 9 life. They can just accept this. Pass the turn. Is there any reason worth playing this one? I'll play it just so that I have potentially more mana to do other stuff. So now, is there anything they could do on their upkeep? Couldn't they have used the look at my cards one? All right, maybe that wasn't as bad as I think it is, because I still feel like I'm pretty far in the lead. They got a lot of clues, and I would figure maybe they'd crack them to try to play something. I mean, in reality, the butler should have stayed home. The butler blocks. The butler blocks to get me somebody out of the graveyard. Ravenous Squirrel is all they found. Oh, this is a mad squirrel. It's going to pump up pretty quickly. Yep. The squirrel's getting out of control. That's a big squirrel. No blocks. Ranger Captain. What can we even find? We could find the Carrion Feeder. Carrion feeder sacrifices the butler. There we go. Is it worth it? Yes. Okay. Sacrifice this. Yes. For Skyclave Apparition. White, black, white. Eat the squirrel. Pass turn. Oh, I could have replayed the Gravecrawler. Jeremy. Jeremy. It's your own fault, Jeremy. Yeah, this is a case of they have too many triggers, and I talked too much on my turn. Does it even matter now? I would say no. Yeah, we're gonna die. We could have replayed. We'll replay the Vizier, Gravecrawler, pass. Yield through this turn, but I don't think it's enough. I mean, we're 7 minutes behind on the clock. Like, it's definitely our fault. And now they got the ability to drain us out. It seems like it should be enough. We don't have enough attacks left. Cheers to our opponent. I mean, I don't even know necessarily if we had more time, are we going to win this? I think I did play a little too sloppily at parts, but you know, that's more on me than anything else. I know I do have a tendency as I'm talking through, turning around, interacting with the dogs, all of that is time that I lost here. But yeah, that's part of the streaming aspect of it more than anything else, you know. We'll attack. We'll see what they do. Yep. Every time I got to click a button. Yep. We'll just let time run out there. All right. Well, let's try one last time to maybe get some of this stuff done. So should I be playing Rally the Ancestors based on what we've seen it do? Right? Like based on the fact that it can rebuy and play all this stuff all at once, and if it's just a case of setting stuff up, maybe I should be trying to set up that big combo turn. What about that? And because of that, maybe we trim on. We could have this other zombie because it's better than this Cauldron Familiar. Freebooter, I think we can take that out, and this Bloodcaster. Okay, now we have a little bit more combo potential. Let's try this instead. Let's let this be our game 3 and see what we can do with it. Because there are times we all of that flooding out, and then if we would have potentially just said, hey, pick everything all up at once, that maybe would have been what we needed. So that's probably a blind spot on my part. I don't know wherever it went. Rally the Ancestors. That's not a card I've played before. I know it was like part of a really popular deck, but that's just not necessarily what I usually am used to with, a lot of the synergies and things like that. So I don't know. If you're watching this later on YouTube, go ahead and let me know the multitudinous ways I screwed up. But hey, maybe that can help me figure it out in the future. I would appreciate it. And like I said, you will catch me here on Wednesdays. Wednesday is my normal day to stream. I will potentially sprinkle in other ones depending on what's going on. If there are particular events that I'm going to go to, maybe I need to practice a little bit more, and I'll focus on... Like, I tend to be more of a legacy player, but I do like modern. Pioneer is a lot more relevant right now. Speaking of mana traders, way up at the top, the Mana Trader series for this month is Pauper. Don't know how much Pauper I'm going to play, but some people like it. All right, so we lost all 3 die rolls, and that's cool. But we were playing against Irish Kelp. So let's see what we can do here. I don't know if our opponent knows that we have started our match. We'll have to have them meander their way back to the stream. All right. So, yeah, keep. The other opponent that said GLHF just like kind of combo killed us, I know I personally used to say hello and good luck. There were like keyboard shortcuts when Magic Online first came out that you could use for... oh, they've already gone down to 5. 4 cards. They said they're searching for lands. That's rough, man. All right, planes from them. Our turn. Planes pass. Witch's Oven. Okay. I was going to try to cash in on the Witch's Oven, but now I'm wondering... Yikes. Okay, I'm definitely more worried about that, but we're going to eat that with Skyclave. Or attempt to. So they should sack their... Okay, they did. Swing in. All right, so is there any benefit from playing that stuff now? I would say this one, because I could use it as a combat trick. All right, pass turn. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Yeah, I definitely probably should have been playing that from the beginning. The treasure token can be clever. Treasure token could have been a way for me to get red mana in that other match. Knight's Whisper. So this is the third Abzan flavored deck that we played. So apparently I should have been playing green. Maybe I am with the Kitchen Finks. You know. That seems decent. We flipped a whole lot of nothing. Awesome. Three, four, five, six, seven. They gain some life back off the food. What do we got left? Swamp from them. Okay, so what do I want to try to do here? Let's sacrifice this guy. The butler will bring back to me. So who do I want to bring back? Is the real question. Okay. I think I want the apparition back though. I will take apparition. I thought about I was gonna do one and then it turned into the other, so that's on me. Okay. That happens. We get the Kitchen Finks back. Back to our turn. We can just get that off the board. Attack. I think it makes more sense to just keep the pressure on them. Don't let them kind of get back into this. They have their own Kitchen Finks. All right, let's just get that off the board. 1, 2, 3, 4. Touche. They have blinked it. Okay. They are putting up a fight. What do I still got in here? They could choose to get 2 more life off it, and they probably should. And that's a good reason. I forgot about the rebound. Forgetting about the rebound is definitely a good reason not to have swung in. If 1 or more tokens are created under your control, create that many instead. Okay, we set ourselves up. We could also go just get Gilded Goose. Okay. So we have Restoration Angel here. So if we use Restoration Angel, that's a 3/3. This has the ability to blink. I say we take that one. All right, so 1 or more token. Oh, okay. I missed that part. Black. We'll yield to that. We have responses here. Plus X minus X. Okay, I missed that as well. Apparently. We're not doing great over here, folks. I need to be more mindful of the cards that are in the deck. So if we go get Yawgmoth here, will they be able to kill? They could kill off little stuff. Swing on that one. Okay, they've gained some life back. They really have fought their way back from this. I think that was me. Sorry. I mean, it's kind of funny. Okay. So, hear me out. Do I have I don't currently have a zombie. You are also not a zombie. We have created a food token. Okay. Yep, messed that up. Should have left double black available to me. Okay. So, does this card have trample? No. I'm going to attack for a lot. Make them sacrifice some lands and some foods. Okay. They need to sacrifice at least 2 lands. Okay. So they can survive this. What's in my graveyard? Scrap Heap Scrounger. Okay. All right, that was good enough. Gotta win. They had oven. They had They had the squirrel. What's Squirrel Boy? Squirrel token Chatterfang. Chatterfang's a real card. I have to. They also had the Wrath effect. I'll just play around that. The Wrath effect. We could have Phyrexian Revoker. That seems better than Scrap Heap Scrounger. Turn off some of their powerful effects on their side. See if that benefits us at all. I was going to say, have the dogs gone to sleep? No, they just have left the room. Opponent is mulliganed at least to 6. We're going to keep this because we have a curve. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Is there a reason to swing first? That one's a little bit more important, so I'm going to slide it over in the hand. Not sure whether... Alright, that would have been a reason to play it first. Not thinking about it. And I also likely should have played a swamp instead of one of those planes to be able to replay. Yep. So I'm going to take a bunch of damage here. But I get to restock. So, step 1. One, two, three, four, 5. I have 5 total mana. Okay. I like that as best use of mana, at least overall. Uh-oh, Zernorb's back. Who knows how much life they have. Eternal Witness, rebuy Wooded Foothills? Okay. So this is just another... Whenever a creature you control dies... Whenever a creature an opponent controls die. Okay, that's bad. Wait. So those... Okay, those didn't kill me. I have to be mindful of what's occurring. So I definitely missed out on a point of life from the when I played the Midnight Reaper. But that does not appear to have really affected anything. Send this in. See if they block. Hi, buddy. He's back. First strike damage. They're paying costs. They would like to ephemerate. I'm going to respond and say no. I see that just as more important because of the shenanigans they could pull. So from this, I think we play the Butler. Ooh, we've stocked the graveyard. When the Butler dies, okay. So we'll get the Gravecrawler back. And pass turn. I did not think about swinging in with the Blade Splicer and giving Mother of Runes, give it protection. That probably would have just been smarter play. And our opponent sees what we have going on and has decided they no longer want to participate. So I don't know how to make this any smaller or bigger, but we did get ourselves back 50 play points out of that. So Not the entirety of the league repaid, but hey, half of it. So 1 and 2, not the greatest, but I don't know. I had fun tonight. It's nice to try different things every once in a while. Shout out to Steve for suggesting we play this cube. Like I said, normally you can find me on Wednesdays. I play a variety of things depending on, what I've spun up or different things like what I'm testing for, different events like that. If you aren't already, come join our Discord. If you're a sub, like we were saying, if you're a sub to the Twitch channel, you will get added benefits in the Discord. There will be certain areas unlocked that you can interact with the team at a little bit more direct level. Also, want to say thanks again to Mana Traders. If you're interested in a Mana Trader subscription, use the code jpinter_HK2. It gets you 15% off your first couple months, and it does help support me. I really do appreciate everyone that has done that lately. It's actually really awesome. And also, that Mana Trader series is free to enter. And if you are a subscriber, you get 10x multiplier on your prizes. I mean, that's pretty insane. So this month is Pauper. I think it actually starts this coming Monday. So check out the details there, manatraders.com. Also want to shout out the team, Swish Gaming. You can find us all sorts of places at The Swish Gaming. Right above a little bit on the tree where it talks about the link tree. The link tree will show you the Twitter, our Twitch, the link to Discord. Patreon is coming. All of that kind of thing. So, hey, if you're interested in content and supporting our team, which is on the west side here of Michigan, but we also travel to all sorts of events. Steven streams every day, Monday through Friday. You can catch him with Magic at the beginning of the week, Pokemon at the end of the week, and he's usually traveling to an event where he does pretty well. And we're going to try to get a couple more team members in the future. I'm going to try to get team members to join me on stream and maybe play to some of their strengths. So you will probably see a little bit more variety coming from me, but I hope you stay tuned for it. If you aren't already, follow the channel. That way you'll know when we're going live. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me specifically. I'm jpintermtg on Twitter. And then if you aren't already, please come over to YouTube. It's the Swish Gaming YT, I believe. Come over to YouTube. Make sure you are checking us out there. New videos get posted all of the time. Basically, all of our content. If you aren't watching this live, you can watch it after the fact. And like I said, if you're watching it over on YouTube, thank you. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment telling me what I have done wrong today. But, take it easier on yourself because there would probably be too many comments. All right. Cheers to you. I'm glad you hung out with me today. Tune in again tomorrow. Steven will be back live on this channel. Take care, everybody. It was good seeing ya.